Just got back from the 5.6 livestream, and man, it was an absolute blast. Like, seriously, I could barely keep up with all the juicy details. We got confirmed events, the Chronicle Wish finally rolled out, and new exciting quests that I really can't wait to see unfold. It really is a lot, but don't worry, I'm bringing you the full breakdown. First, I'm calculating how many primos we can actually get in version 5.6, and trust me, it's going to be a solid amount. Second, I'll cover all the leaks confirmed in the livestream. And last but not least, we're diving into the leaks that didn't get mentioned and are still pending. But wait, if that's all we did, the video might be a little dry, right? Yeah, don't worry, I've got a fix for that. I'll be covering the exciting moments from the stream, the extra gist you might have missed. That way we are keeping it fresh and sweet as always. And of course, with Primo flying off of our hands in the next patch, I really can't leave you guys hanging. That's why I'm hosting a 10 Welkin Moon giveaway at 15k subscribers. We are getting so much closer by the day, and honestly, entering is super simple. Just subscribe, drop a comment, and like the video. It's all about making your presence known. That way, I'll know you're here and part of the crew. But hey, if a Welkin isn't enough and you ever want to top up, then remember that you can always save some extra cash via my partner, U7Buy. They offer the best deals for gaming top-ups. For example, instead of getting the $100 Genesis crystals for $100, why not just get it for $79? There's nothing to fear as they have strong buyer protection, and as if that wasn't enough, they've got mouth-watering deals on their site. So if you want to save some cash on your next top-up, then use my link in description or pinned comment to save yourself the extra cash. Now with that out of the way, let's dive straight into the confirmed and pending leaks. And yes, we're counting primos as we go, so you know exactly what you're working with. Version 5.6 officially drops on May 7th, which is just 11 days away, and it's running for the standard 42 days, meaning it'll wrap up on June 18th. Now for the banner breakdown, Phase 1 is bringing Escoffier and Navia, while Phase 2 will feature Raiden Shogun and Kinnich. So what does this mean for your Primogem game? Well, it means if you're aiming for Escoffier or Kinnich, you've only got a tight 21-day window to gather your wishes. But don't panic, I've got you covered. I'll be splitting the total Primogem count for both phases. That way you'll know exactly how many wishes you can expect to rack up for your desired character. Now, the best source of primos for this patch? It's the events, and let me tell you, these ones aren't your average daily grind. The flagship event, aka the first major event of 5.6, isn't just some combat challenge. Nope, this one's a management simulation, and it's being hosted by none other than our excessively elegant queen herself, Navia. The event itself sounds adorable. It's not just about managing resources. You'll also be building, running around with some parkour, and developing a whole mini theme park. It's wholesome, it's fun, and I already know I'm going to drown in the sweetness of it all. And of course, what's fun without rewards? This is where Hoyoverse absolutely nailed it. We're not getting 800, not 910, not even 950 Primogems, but a whopping 990 primos from this single event alone. That's literally 10 primos from 1,000. But wait, there's more. This event also hands us a free 4-star weapon, which is perfect for our HP scaling queens like Yelan, Diona, and yes, even the nurse lady. Now the second and final event of the first phase is called Operation Downpour Simulation, and while the name sounds intense, trust me, the gameplay isn't. This event leans more into strategy and defense style gameplay, putting you in the role of a surveillance operator. You're the one watching, defending, and making the smart plays from behind the scenes. As for the rewards, you'll be picking up 420 Primogems, a chunk of Mora, and the usual goodies like books and materials. Not as stacked as the flagship event, but still a solid grab. That said, we cannot forget about our new elegant madame, who's already taking the community by storm, Escoffier. During the live stream, we got a bit more insight into her kit, and turns out her cooking skills are even more versatile than we thought. Instead of just one food type, she can whip up 4 different dishes, each with its own unique effect. Now, something that really caught my attention, and probably yours too, is her tail. Or, what she claims isn't a tail, but rather a mechanical apparatus. Escoffier, ma'am, that's definitely a tail. But hey, maybe I need to do a little research to confirm. Jokes aside, her attack patterns are beautiful to look at. She doesn't even hold her sword with her hands anymore. The whole animation feels refined and graceful. Her kit focuses mainly on team-wide buffs and cryo application. Sure, it's not as consistent as someone like Citlali, but still, she's a fantastic pick, especially if you're into elegance with a side of utility. Now, aside from our elegant Escoffier, we've also got Ifa joining the roster in 5.6, and this guy's bringing a really fresh mechanic with him. You've probably seen him in the story quest already, but just in case you missed it, he's a vet, and that actually plays directly into how he works in combat. Now let's take a little break from the characters and get into something a bit more divisive. Yeah, some of you are gonna love this news, and some of you, not so much. The Chronicle banner won't be available during the first phase, but instead drops in Phase 2 of the update. For those who've been saving, that's a W. For others, might be a little tough. But here's the exciting part. Remember when I predicted Kokomi ending up in the Chronicle banner? Yup, nailed it. She's confirmed. And she's not alone. We've also got Kazuha, Yai Miko, and even Ayaka making appearances. That's a powerhouse lineup right there. So whether you're aiming for meta, aesthetics, or waifu husbando collection, this banner has something for everyone. Alright, back to the primos, because let's be real, we're all farming like our lives depend on it. That said, we're getting a brand new questline in Mondstadt, and this time, it looks like Albedo is in some serious trouble. Honestly, it's kind of hilarious to see him caught up in a mess, but at the same time, the quest feels deeper and more intense than your usual side story. From the looks of it, this could even be considered an Archon level quest, which means we're probably looking at around 410 to even 500 Primogems just from that alone. Escoffier is also getting her story quest, granting an easy 120 primos. Sadly, our 4-star boy Ifa doesn't get a full-blown story quest, but he'll be getting a hangout quest instead. If you decide to do it, then you'll be walking away with another 60 Primogems. Imaginarium Theater will reset once, granting us an extra 700 Primogems. Sadly, this would be in the second phase on June 1st. But still on the topic of the theater, we've got a change that might split the community a bit. So for those of you who've just been clearing it casually and ignoring the star ratings because, A, stars are just for flex, well, not anymore. Because in version 5.6, Hoyoverse is finally attaching real rewards to those stars, and honestly, it might be worth it now. If you go for 3 stars, you'll now get 8 Sanctifying Essence. If you go all the way and score 6 stars, then you'll be rewarded with 1 Transient Resin. But if you grind hard enough and reach 8 stars, then you'll get 1 Sanctifying Elixir. So yeah, if you're a grinder, you're gonna love this. More rewards for your effort. But if you're not into the theater grind, well, might be time to reconsider because these extra materials add up fast, especially for free-to-play players trying to squeeze every drop of efficiency. Still on that similar topic, it seems we have not a single mention of the new Thorn's elemental reaction. I personally believe it's still coming, so I guess we'll have to wait and see. Anyways, Spiral Abyss will reset twice, once in first phase and second time in the second. This way we can get 700 primos per each reset. And no, don't worry, there will be lesser enemies, since this phase had many enemies to just simply promote Venti's banner. With Venti out of the way, expect lesser enemies. Now, server maintenance will grant us 600 Primogems, and sadly, Paymon Shop will reset in the second phase on exactly June 1st. Daily commission for 21 days will grant us 1,260 primos for each phase. Trial plays will also grant us 40 primos per phase. Now, even though the main quest in 5.6 is taking us back to Mondstadt, that doesn't mean Natlan's sitting this one out. We're still getting a map expansion. This time, it's a southeastern section of the volcanic region. Now, at first glance, it might look kind of small on the surface, but don't be fooled, there are underground mazes that triple the map size. So yeah, based on what we've seen from leakers, we can safely expect around 250 Primogems just from the usual surface stuff. Teleport waypoints, Statue of the Seven, and chests. That's not even touching the underground rewards yet, which we know will go way beyond that, somewhere around 300 to 400 primos, since it'll have its little quest accompanying it. Now onto the changes coming in 5.6, we are getting an improvement to the treasure compass, so now it'll locate warrior challenges and even the obsidian ring barriers. Secondly, character talents are more simplified so that we don't have to rack our heads just to understand it. That said, there are 2 events which are being held in the second phase, one being a competitive-like event called Legends Ablaze, Cross-Border Brawl. To put it simply, it's almost exactly like the current event, Quacking Arena, except you'll use Saurians, not Natlan characters. As usual, this will grant 420 primos as well as the usual goodies, and no, there's no free weapon here. Then we have the second event called Chronicle of Shifting Stratagems. It's the good old fighting event, where you have to beat enemies within a certain period of time, easily granting 420 Primogems. And now the one last primo source for free-to-play players is redeem codes, just like what we got yesterday. We can expect the same 300 in the second phase of 5.6. Finally, for Welkin holders or perhaps winners, then you can expect an easy 3,000 primos for the whole duration of the Welkin. At the end of the day, free-to-play players can save a total of 10,120 Primogems, or about 63 wishes, while Welkin owners can save 13,120 primos, or exactly 82 wishes. Anyways, that's the wrap for this video. I hope you enjoyed it and found it useful. As always, consider subscribing, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.